Yep. Good afternoon, Rotarians. And welcome to our weekly lunch and meeting. I think it's going to be a good one today. It's going to be the Rotary International Ukraine Relief Program. You're in for a really good program. I'm Jane Klingman Scott. I'm the president of the Muskegon Rotary. We will start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, a little literacy, and then Darlene Collet will offer the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Last week, we had a great presentation from our ISD to show what the impact of schools in the community. So I thought, well, this time we're going to reverse it and talk about people that didn't have a chance to go to any school, or at least not being trained in their field. And these are autodidacts, self-educated without guidance of masters or institutions. And some of these names you will recognize. Jorge Luis Borges, an Argentinian poet and writer. Eugene O'Neill, an American playwright who won a Nobel Prize. Charles Dickens quit school at 15. Mark Twain, Herman Melville, never finished school. Frank Lloyd Wright, never studied architecture. James Watt, the engineer of fame, never went to engineering school. Nikola Tesla, Frederick Douglass, never had the benefit of an education, but through discipline, curiosity, they became who they were. Now, I'm not suggesting this to any student in this group. These are exceptional people. What you need to do is go to college, get a great bachelor's of arts degree in English, and then become the autodidact that's going to change the world. Where is our Darlene? Darlene. I've heard that before.
As we enter into a new year, I found some words that I'd like to share with you. Perhaps you can pass them on to others as you encounter your adventures in this new year. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days. Smiles when sadness intrudes. Rainbows to follow the clouds. Laughter to kiss your lips. Hugs when spirits sag. Friendships to brighten your being. Beauty for your eyes to see. Faith so that you can believe. Confidence for what you doubt. Patience to accept the truth. Courage to know yourself. Love to complete your life.
Thank you, Darlene. Everyone enjoy your lunch. We will reconvene in about 10 minutes. Okay. The official meeting has begun. And we have many guests today. And so rather than making the roll call of all of our Rotarians who have guests, why don't you all come and join us here. And Jason will be our guest host, our host, whatever you are, stage manager, much more appropriate for you as a stage manager.
All right, you're gonna stand in between those tape marks there, and you'll be able to see yourself on that screen right in front. And then just hand it.
Yes, we have the marks. In between the marks? Yeah. My friend here, this is Josh Foster. He owns AIDS Collision. We're. Nothing. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure to stand in for Mary Ann Gorman. Come on here in the camera. All right, here we go. And I get to introduce two people today. And first is Jerry Conrad, who's going to reactivate as a Rotarian. Okay, sorry about that. And Jerry was a member for several years and then kind of took a leave of absence, and you may know him as a master interpersonal communicator and motivational speaker extraordinaire. And welcome back, Jerry. Thank you. And standing next to Jerry, we have Julia Straley. Has quite an interesting background. First of all, she grew up in North Muskegon, graduated from Western Michigan Christian High, went to MCC Community College, which, you know, that ups her right away. And in Western Michigan, spent time in the Peace Corps in Uganda. And she's been back in town now about the time COVID hit. So about 3 years, and she owns an accounting business, and she does business consulting to help small businesses be more efficient. And she's kind of doing a soft launch of that. But before that, she spent about 25 years out in okay, in Utah. So welcome, Julia Straight.
Right. Hello, again, I'm Marcia Hovey Wright, and with me today is our new commissioner, Jessica Cook. She represents North Muskegon, Laketon Township, the downtown of Muskegon, and the southern half of Fruitland Township. And she works with Kellogg Foundation as the human resources analyst. Yeah, grew up in in Oceana County.
Go. Melissa Moore from Reed Muskegon. My guest today is Jenna Lakos, who is Reed Muskegon's development coordinator and a proud Big Red.
Thank you.
First things he says to me is keep it short. I'm a coach. I'm a basketball coach. Keep it short. I'm Tom Ludwig, and my good friend John Manchester, who's had a lot of businesses on the east side of the state. We live in Harbor Town together, and we're just good friends. So.
Thank you. There you go.
Good afternoon, Tom Palmer from Shoreline here with Chuck Murray. He's from Gilo, Groom, Terpstra, and McAvoy, and he's an estate planning attorney and looking at joining the group.
Hi, I'm Myra Dutton, and I have with me today Shanae Hicks.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rob Mathis, and this is Judy from Lakeside Baptist Church, one of our biggest supporters.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Rasp. I'd like to introduce you to Dane Robinson. Dane is the Director of Advancement at Muskegon Catholic. He came to us from the UK, followed a young lady here who worked at Muskegon Catholic. Now they're married and have a little one. And Dane on the side also coaches soccer, both boys and girls. So,
Afternoon, everyone. This is Sean Perry. She is like a sister from another mother to me, but she is also my coworker. We work together at the Public Defender's Office. She is currently the president of the Vikings here in Muskegon, and she is one of the best lawyers I've ever known. So she's interested in Rotary. She's a graduate of Michigan State University.
Yes.
Cut you off? Oh, how rude. Hello, Rotary. Marty Seitzma, West Michigan Christian, class of 1989. Julie, how you doing? It's 30 years? It's been a while. We won't talk about that. Anyway, I was told to be quick. Please join me in welcoming our student guests from Calvary Christian. All right. To introduce two of their seniors is Samantha Anhalt. She is on the admin team at the high school.
We are from Calvary Christian Schools in Fruitport. We're a K through 12 school, and these two are our top two of all of those students. So some exciting seniors that we've got graduating this year.
Hi, I'm Annalise Derrick, and I'm a senior at Calvary Christian. Being as we have a pretty small school, I'm involved in almost everything. So I'm vice president of student body in our NHS. I play varsity basketball and run varsity track, and I'm part of our concert band. This summer, Muskegon Rotary Club actually sponsored me to go to the leadership conference, and I had a great time there with all the people I met.
Hi, my name's Anna Childerhose, and I've been involved in our student council. I am this year's secretary. I have also been a member of NHS and got to participate in Law Day. I have been active in our sports programs as well as our music programs. And this year I've gotten the opportunity to lead up our school chapel worship teams. After graduation, I plan to go to Baker College for nursing and further my education.
You wouldn't want to have an autodidact nurse. You really want them to get that coursework in. Our our program today is represented by the flag that Arn has brought in. The blue standing for the sky above, the yellow for the color of the wheat that they produced. Today, we are going to have a very special program about the relief efforts in the Ukraine.
Дорогі українці, цей рік почався 24 лютого. Без передмов і прелюдій. Різко, рано, о 4-й годині. Було темно, було гучно, багатьом було складно, комусь страшно. Минуло 311 днів. Нам все ще може бути темно, гучно і складно. Але нам точно вже ніколи не буде страшно. І ніколи не буде соромно. Це був наш рік. Рік України. Рік українців. 24 лютого ми прокинулись. Інші ми, інший народ, інші українці. Перші ракети остаточно зруйнували лабіринт ілюзій. Ми побачили, хто є хто. На що здатні друзі, вороги, а головне, на що здатні ми самі. 24 лютого мільйони з нас зробили вибір. Не білий прапор, а синьо-жовтий стяг. Не втеча, а зустріч. Зустріч ворога. Опір і боротьба. Вибухи 24 лютого нас оглушили. Відтоді ми не все чуємо і не всіх слухаємо. Нам казали, у вас немає інших варіантів, аніж здатися, ми кажемо, у нас немає інших варіантів, аніж перемогти. Дорогі українці, залишається кілька хвилин до Нового року. Я хочу всім нам зараз побажати одного – перемоги. І це головне, одне побажання для всіх українців. Нехай цей рік буде роком повернення наших людей, воїнів до своїх родин, полонених до своїх домівок, переселенців до своєї України. Повернення наших земель і тимчасово окуповані стануть назавжди вільними. Повернення до звичайного життя, до щасливих хвилин без комендантської години, до земних радощів без повітряних тривог, повернення того, що у нас вкрали, дитинства наших дітей, спокійної старості нашим батькам, щоб на канікулах онуки приїхали до бабусі і дідусів на Ковуни, у Херсон, на Черешню, в Мелітополь, щоб наші міста були вільні, наші друзі вірні. І щоб у звітах біля цифри 100 тисяч знищених ворогів, тисяч одиниць знищеної російської техніки з'явилась наша головна цифра і головний успіх. 603 тисячі 628 кілометрів квадратних. Площа незалежної України. Як це було від 1991 року. І як це буде завжди. Нехай все це принесе новий рік. Ми готові за це боротись. Ось чому кожен з нас тут. Я тут. Ми тут. Ви тут. Всі тут. Ми всі. Це Україна. Слава Україні. З Новим роком.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I'm Rem Sprague, and I'm pleased to serve as moderator for this afternoon's presentation. Our speaker today is Pat Merriweather Vargas, who will share with us Rotary's actions to support the people of Ukraine, both those of in-country clubs and Rotary International. Pat serves as a director of Rotary International. She is a board member of the Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene Rotary Action Group, and is the Health Outcomes and Patient Safety Chair of the International Rotary Fellowship of Healthcare Professionals. Pat is a member of the Naperville, Illinois Rotary Club. In addition to her Rotary duties, Pat is the Executive Director of Project Patient Care, a not-for-profit organization that brings the voices of patients and families to healthcare interactions, research, and healthcare policy and regulatory matters. Pat has traveled to over a dozen developing countries on Rotary projects, most of which have been related to healthcare and clean water. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you. Thank you.
So Ukraine is in such crisis since the war started in February. How do we know what their most pressing needs are?
They have so many pressing needs, and it seems to change depending upon sometimes the season or where what's going on in Ukraine. But the people that we depend upon for information as well as guidance in what they need most are the Rotarians, the Rotaractors and the Rotarians. They have been working closely with their communities. They know best the initiatives that are needed, the interventions that are possible given their circumstances, and they guide us in what their needs are. So it's been extremely helpful to have that level of information rather than just sending things over that they do not need and do not have any use for at all. So this is exactly what they need. We're sending over.
Wow. So despite the horrendous circumstances they're facing, Rotary is still active in the country. How have they been helping?
They have been, I have to say, I'll give you a couple of stories about the Rotarians over there. I think many of people that went to the International Convention in Houston got to meet Dr. Ola. She was on stage talking about Ukraine. And Dr. Ola, when this first started, we were working with the Ukraine Medical Association of North America. They're based in the Chicago area. The UN started sharing their warehouse with them because they were getting all sorts of donations from around the US. And we were also collecting for around the US. And we asked her, could you be on a Zoom with us so we can engage our members and get them excited and participating in this initiative? And she got on the Zoom. It was dark at night and she's talking from her car. And she said, I must hurry. I must drive fast because I'm past curfew. And she had just finished a surgery. And she felt that it was important to be on Zoom to communicate to people what was going on. So again, another person, Mikola. Mikola is a past district governor, and he's out of Odessa. And he put together, this was phenomenal. In the midst of all this going on, he put together a conference. And he had people from around the world saying how they're helping out and working. And it was, again, if you know Mikola, everything is top rate performance in terms of productions and everything. And it was the same, even though he didn't have much light in his building because, again, the lights were out. He was on curfew. And they just kept on moving ahead. And they were so gracious in providing us the information that we needed, and also helping us find providers, manufacturers of goods that they needed, especially for medical. So again, I can't say enough about them. They've been wonderful.
Yeah, really heroic.
Yes.
So Ukraine Rotary members really are dependent upon others to purchase goods and services from outside the country. What's that been like and how does it actually work?
Well, you know, the wonderful thing is when the war started, Rotary started a disaster fund, and the disaster fund garnered, over $15 million in just a couple of weeks. So being able to tap into that disaster fund has been very helpful. But one thing that we learned during a disaster is the people that are in the districts that are affected by a disaster of this scope, not just one community or one town, but of the whole district, that they don't have any place to spend the money because the manufacturers have gone or their shops have been bombed or closed. They depend upon people, Rotarians from the outside, to purchase the equipment and supplies and then work to get it into Ukraine. So that's been a surprise for all of us. So they are dependent upon us. They never had a huge need for what we call craniotomies for brain injuries and trauma. And now it's a top request is the craniotomy kit. So again, that's not something you would find in Ukraine normally, but we had to go to other locations to garner it.
Wow. So as you mentioned, some of the most pressing needs have been in healthcare. Can you explain a little bit about what Rotary International has provided and why Ukraine medical providers need these pieces of equipment? I think you touched on it briefly with craniotomy.
Yeah, the needs are tremendous. I think if you think of trauma cases as well as general services, maternal care and that, people are still delivering babies in the worst conditions, and they still need those supplies and equipment as well. But for trauma care, we started out sending at first, the the blood gauze, blood clotting gauze, and different pieces for more the frontline military and for the frontline emergency medical workers. Then it moved on to, okay, we've got all these injuries. We need some specialized surgical instruments and support. And then they found out that many were getting infections because the wounds were not healing fast. And so we got the wound vac kits. And then also because they couldn't see where the dirty shrapnel was inside of anyone. So we got them C-arms. So it just has been a continuous process. And right now, you know, one of the major challenges they're facing is they have no electricity. Oftentimes they're doing work in the basement. You know, they move their emergency services and trauma cases and surgeries to the basement so that if they do get bombed, they can continue doing surgery. I mean, how challenging is that?
Yeah, really. So I'm sure the needs have evolved over the duration of this assault by Russia. Can you talk a little bit about how the needs have changed and what they're facing now with colder weather?
Yes, their needs have changed from, like I said, they just thought this was, everyone hoped it was going to be a short war, you know, a few weeks, but it's gone on. It's drained their supplies and medical equipments. Over 120 of their facilities, hospitals have been hit, bombed, and targeted. So again, the needs are many, but they're trying to prioritize the greatest needs to save the greatest amount of lives. And so that's why you see surgery at the top of the list because of the needs they have there. All sorts of equipment, you know, like I said, the dirty shrapnel, having the wound vacs. The wound vacs really provide an opportunity to heal quicker and to clear up any infections. And then the C-arms allow them to see, you know, what's inside that person. You know, sometimes they can only see what's evident. So this allows them to get a good view of anything that's sort of behind different organs or that, and they can operate on. So it has evolved to this, you know, craniotomy kits, but now it's also the basics. You know, they're doing surgery and the lights go out, which means the oxygen machines go out. So they have to have some sort of backup generators, and that's a priority. As well as we've been providing them with solar lights so that some of the solar lights can light up a whole surgical room. And, you know, the sun's sort of free, so you don't have to worry about purchasing fuel, but they can also recharge their phones because sometimes their phones, when they're trying to contact each other for supplies or what's going on at their center, they don't have the ability to communicate when the electricity goes out. And it's going out more and more often. And I have to say you know, one thing that I found amazing was the movement of surgical suites to the basement so that they can protect the patients. I mean, I have pictures of, you know, it would never pass the Joint Commission or Medicare and Medicaid surveys, but it just was, it's like, I'm old enough to remember MASH. So it's like MASH. It's like MASH.
Really.
Yeah.
Just for the benefit of our audience, a C-arm is an X-ray machine shaped like a C with a transmitter at the top and a receptor at the bottom that provides real-time imaging of the soft tissues so that you can spot things like shrapnel while you're working on the patient. And then wound vacs are sort of a saran wrap connected to a mild vacuum that clears away accumulating plasma and other debris in a wound and keeps the wound continuously clear and aerated to enhance healing. So just try to avoid a couple questions there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, fine. Hey, so during this time, Rotary membership, I'm told, has actually grown in Ukraine. How has this been possible?
Rotary is on the ground. They have been they just have not been stoppable. They just keep moving and doing things in the community, helping their neighbors. They were also part of the early rescue teams that used to go out after bombing and help those that had been injured. People see what Rotary is doing and they want to be a part of it. The other thing that Rotary does, it provides hope. You know, sometimes when you're in a situation and everything seems to be crashing around you and you just don't know how you're going to get out of it, Rotary surrounds itself with fellowship and also support. It gives people a purpose. So I think it's really provided that level of hope, and hope that things will get better and hope that, you know, we all make it out together and this war ends. And we know Rotary is about peace. So that's another major component is, you know, they're working for peace. They're working for, you know, saving lives and the day that peace does come to their country.
You know, I think all of us have been struck by the resilience, the innovation, the perseverance of the people of Ukraine in the face of tremendous assault. And it's interesting to compare the bombardment of citizen areas, of hospitals and schools, and it hasn't broken the spirit of the people of Ukraine any more than the Blitz broke the spirit of the British in World War II. So what have you learned about Rotary members in Ukraine that you would like to share as a final comment?
I think they know best their needs. They do know best their needs. And, you know, sometimes it's water, sometimes it's, you know, any type of generators or backup systems. They know the equipment, the supplies. They do know what is best needed for their communities and the people that they're serving. I also have to say their resilience is amazing. Their faith that things will get better, that this is just part of a journey, that things will turn around, and they are not leaving. I mean, any of those physicians, clinicians, you know, they're females. Many of them are females, not all, but they are females, and they are staying. They're providing the services. They could leave, but they've chosen to stay. And so that ability to care, the compassion and caring for other people shows through. It's a true service above self, because most of them are not getting paid. There's no payroll systems, and they are staying because that is what they believe in. They believe they are there to serve others and put others above themselves. So again, I just have to commend them, and the spirit and the graciousness. They're always thanking us. And I'm like, no, please don't, you know, I'm sitting here, you know, comfortable in my home, and I don't need anyone to say thank you. I just, you know, want to wish them well and safe.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. And maybe a code of how can Rotary of Muskegon be helpful?
I think, you know, there's opportunities that come along where we try and pull together districts and clubs together. And so that's one way of helping out. There's many initiatives that will be ongoing because, like I said, the healthcare needs haven't gone away. They've only increased. The need for water, for light. And then this is sort of like the beginning, because once the war is over, a major journey begins. Because when you look at the amount of destruction, so think about it, there are needs now. Don't look away, because they really do need everything they ask for. And then when the time comes for rebuilding, that's when we all need to join together and work together for them and their communities.
Yeah, well, thanks again, Pat, for this really informative presentation. I hope you'll be available on Zoom during the club meeting to answer some questions from our audience. And
yes, I will. Just tell me what they're having for lunch.
All right, with that, we'll
Yeah.
bring this presentation to a close. Thanks again, Pat.
Okay.
We now have this young lady online, and because we're having some audio difficulties, we're going to try something a little interesting. I've got her on the phone. We'll see if in fact we can hear her. Can you respond to us, Pat?
Yes, yes, I can.
Well, holy pooperoonie. Just start it around if you would. Questions for this young lady?
First, is this working? Amazing presentation to find out all that Rotary is doing on the ground in Ukraine. I want to say, again, Melissa Moore with Reed Muskegon, if you want something you can do today here, we have over half of our current English as a second language class are refugees from Ukraine. As that class continues to grow, I would say weekly, Jenna, somebody walks in our door from Ukraine who is looking for help. We don't want to turn them away, but our capacity to serve them all well is probably reaching capacity. So we need more volunteers, both in the class or to work one-on-one with them so that we can break them up into smaller groups. I think we have a volunteer training coming up at the end of this month. Don't have to be a teacher, don't have to know any language other than English, but we would love, love, love some extra volunteers.
I think for the benefit of our club, I Googled this weeks and months ago, just because I was curious. And correct me if numbers have changed, but there's about 62 Rotary clubs in Ukraine, 24 Rotaract clubs, and I'm just seeing 6 Interact clubs in Ukraine. And when you see that as a Rotarian, think about it here, you know, we have almost 60 clubs in our district, and they have 62 clubs. Is that number changed or?
It's about that. They also have Rotaract, very popular there.
Come on. John, this is tough. Make it easy for me.
Point of information for the club, that's all. No question there.
They have increased membership, and it's been remarkable that they've been able to do it in the midst of a war. I work closely with Dr. Ola, and she sends me, they meet in the hospital she works in. And they sometimes are meeting by candlelight. They always send me a photo, but they never miss their meetings. It's like they all come together and just join together. Again, they were mostly hospital workers, but it's very important for them to have that fellowship and that ability to lean on each other.
I really want to thank you for sharing this information with us. We know that the needs in Ukraine are high, but we also are comforted to know that we have an international organization that is there to support the people of Ukraine. So thank you for sharing with us. A donation will be made in your honor to the Malala Fund to increase the ability of young ladies, young girls to pursue their educational dreams. Of birthdays. Dwayne Scheckner in the 20th, Kate Scarborough on the 20th, along with Samantha Scott. And Steve Dix is on the 23rd and Heather Brolick on the 30th. I know Samantha is here. Do we have other birthday people? Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And the Caring Connection always enjoys receiving their birthday gift from you. Today we have a Making a Difference video from the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District, our guest from last week. We'd like to look at different organizations in our community that share and advance the elements of Rotary. And so let us hear from another such group.
I'm Sarah Coleman. I work at the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District, and I am the Director of Instructional Services here. Our people are our greatest asset here in our department. So we have people that are supporting teachers. But additionally, one of the great things that we have here is access to technology. So we have technology that districts might not otherwise purchase that we bring to support students. So we have part of our department provides like highly technical science equipment. And then we also have a part of our department that actually services students who need different technologies to have access to learning. So they might have a visual impairment or another kind of impairment, and we can provide and support technology that allows that students to have full access to the learning experience. We have consultant staff who really work with the districts at all levels. So they're helping districts make long-term plans and then helping them build like support plans to actually have districts meet their goals. We also have coaches who work really closely in classrooms. So our coaches are inside classrooms with teachers, and they're supporting their instruction, helping them grow together to meet student needs. And so we also have some specialists in our department who provide more of the technical support on the other side. So how teachers and school districts navigate accessing funds that they might need. One of our real focuses in our county is providing reading for our students, our young students, to actually become readers and be successful readers from an early time. So the state of Michigan provides us with funds for early literacy coaching. We've actually been so lucky that the Community Foundation has also chipped in to support that work, to provide that early literacy coach in the classrooms for our teachers. The coolest part is teaching's a really hard job. And we've heard from teachers that having access to someone who's working alongside them and there to support them really inspires them and allows them to continue to do that hard work.
Thank you. From the community now to our own little community, which is about to increase as we induct a new member. So if Annette Smedley with her nominee can come forward.
Good afternoon. I'm Annette Smedley. This with me is V. Boringa. Say your name.
Vasishta.
There. We call her V. V was born in India and moved to the United States when she was 6 years old. She moved to Texas with her mom, older sister, and grandparents. V moved to Michigan by herself when she was 17 years old to go to, get ready, Michigan State. V has her bachelor's degree in criminal justice, political science, and a minor in journalism. V moved to Chicago for a few years and then moved back to Michigan, at which time she met her husband, Josh, and moved to West Michigan. V has 4-year-old twin girls, a stepdaughter, and a stepson. She worked as a VOCA, which is a victim of crime rights advocate, and an attorney covering 7 counties. through the Michigan Advocacy Program. She then worked at the Muskegon Prosecutor's Office, which they were very, very sad to see her go because she just got appointed as our new family court referee. V also is in charge of the law day for our students, and she makes sure that everybody is in their place. We have a place for them to be heard, and she enjoys working with the youth. I am very honored and pleased that V is a coworker and a friend. Welcome, V.
Fellow Rotarians, it is the duty of Rotary clubs to add new members from time to time so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community. Today, I welcome into our ranks and admit to membership the Boringa.
Both first name and last name are difficult.
And there have been some bets laid in this club that I would not get through that, so I did. You have been elected to membership in this club because your fellow members believe you are a worthy representative of our calling and also possess the qualities that will permit you to exemplify the true spirit of Rotary in your public, business, social, and private life. I wish to impress upon you that you have been admitted to the Rotary Club of Muskegon, but to a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend club meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club in its task of carrying out the principles of Rotary into the daily life of the community. I ask all members, Rotarians, to rise. And in the name of the Rotary Club of Muskegon, I now formally admit you to membership. Fellow Rotarians, I commend our newest member, V. Boringa, and charge you all to welcome her. I'm very happy to welcome you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we have some announcements, and Meredith is going to help me with one. And as she comes up, I will remind people that on your desk, on your table, you will find this. This is an invitation for new members. There's a new member gathering on February 7th at 5:30 that will meet at the museum. So all new members, you should have gotten an email, but carry this with you and we'll see you on the 7th.
But due to Ginny and Rem deciding to go south for a few weeks, I just wanted to remind everybody that I will be selling the district raffle tickets, the 50-50 tickets. So in lieu of Jenny, please come and see me. We have plenty to sell.
Thank you. Thank you, Meredith. One final announcement is that we can't always get in all the announcements people want to announce. There's just too many. So check the back table because people who have things they want to share with us will often put their announcements there. So today, just dance back there and see if there's anything you're interested in. Next week's program is a TBA. Oh, the suspense. Boy, we'll love to see what happens there. But before we go, we want to have the raffle, another bit of our weekly suspense. Who's our raffle master? Whoa. Oh. It looks like Sue could buy another raffle ticket from us. Whoa. There's something going on back there. Everyone at that table has to buy a Michigan raffle ticket today. Whoa. Let's conclude our meeting by standing and reciting the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Is it beneficial to all concerned?